I've been following Johnny Depp and Amber Heard for quite a while now, and the New York Post here is not really well known for printing positive things about Johnny, but here it seems they are. So can we say the tides are turning? I guess not, because the tides were always with Johnny, but I think that's something that Amber fans might say. Anyway, this is from April 13th, 2023, and they actually mention Popcorn Planet, which is why I have Andy's little image there. It's called Johnny Depp's ex-wife, Lori, slams horrific Amber Heard. I felt really bad for him. I think her name's Lori Allison. When he was younger, he was married to her. She's 65 now. Let's see what we got. Appearing on the Popcorn Planet podcast, the 65-year-old was asked to give her take on the 36-year-old actress, referring to Heard as she who shall not be named. Throughout the interview, Allison recalled really liking the Aquaman actress at the start of her romance with Depp. Okay, that's interesting because a lot of people kind of had a bad feeling from the get-go. But all right, Allison had an open mind. I had met her before. I'd been to parties at his house, Allison recalled. She seemed really nice and was gorgeous, and what's not to love? They left out a quotation there, but it's just the New York Post, like they're not great at writing anyway. But as the time went by and I would hear things about her, she who shall not be named, he didn't seem too happy all the time. I didn't see him a lot, so I really can't say. Well, if she can't say, she can't say, but I guess the implication is when she did see him, when she did hear about him, he didn't seem happy. The things that affected me more were the things he said in court. I probably broke down several times because I felt really bad for him, she added. Calling her ex-husband very private, Allison said it was the right decision for Depp to come out so wholeheartedly in the defamation case. I thought it was either going to be an epic train wreck or it was going to go really well, she added, and as we know, it went pretty well. It was a little bit of a bumpy ride here and there, lots of resistance Johnny got, but in the end, it seemed like it worked out right. The thing I gotta wonder about is what's with the timing here? As we know, it's about a full year after the case now, and the New York Post is putting this article out, which is pretty positive towards Johnny out of nowhere. It's usually something that the Amber side does. They'll have some article, Amber Heard has the perfect face or something like that, out of nowhere. I just tend to think these publications have finger in the wind politics. Whatever's going on at the time, that's what they'll cover. Johnny's got a new movie coming out. It's going to open the Cannes Film Festival. Martin Scorsese's got a movie, I think, lined up right after it, really close to it, and he's a big name. So maybe the New York Post is starting to simp a little bit in prediction Johnny might make an actual comeback soon. And what I mean by that is, yes, he's making a comeback, but it's not quite hitting the mainstream. We know about Jeff Beck concerts. We know about Minamata. We know about his artwork, but that's not something on the surface in the mainstream. So maybe they're taking a small bet Johnny might start to make a mainstream comeback. Well, fingers crossed. Anyway, let's keep going. The former makeup artist said she would reach out to Depp's pals from time to time to get updates on how the court case was going. She added that sometimes she would even walk around crying because I was terrified for him. I think it would have killed him. Well, maybe not, but it just broke my heart that somebody could do that to him, she said of Heard. She sounds like a regular old fan. All right, really nice to hear. And to think after all these years, she was crying about someone she was married to how long ago? Decades ago? All right, seems like a nice lady to me. I don't know much about her, and I'm not going to act like I do, but you don't hear that so much. And she ends with this. I'm no angel. I've done my share of shitty things to people, but what she did was absolutely horrific, and if there were things I could do to her that were legal, I would do them. I would. Jeez. She sounds pretty irritated, because that's not something that people say a lot for their own protection, so they don't look like the crazy one. But all right, she said it. I'm just the messenger. And of course, at the end, they say they reached out to Heard's reps for a comment. But why? Because this is a podcast from Popcorn Planet and Johnny Depp's ex-wife, so why would they reach out to Amber Heard's reps? I guess that's just what they do. Someone in the office needs a coffee? Call Amber Heard's reps. Someone needs to pick up their kid from the nursery school? Call Amber Heard's reps. Someone needs a back massage? Call call Amber Heard's reps. I guess that's just what they do. And that brings us to this. US Weekly printed about this, and so did a couple of other publications. Now, the difference here is Allison says she doesn't usually do interviews, and what that says to me is she really just wanted to get her opinion out there about it at least one time. It must have been on her mind, and she must really, really have taken what Depp said to heart. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Check out Andy's channel. He's got a great channel, of course. I don't think his mood there actually represents what this is about so well. He seems surprised or something, and the image is backwards. I don't know. I always have my articles on the left-hand side, so sorry, Popcorn Planet's backwards. If you're not subscribed here and you don't subscribe, I'll be pretty sad about it, but I'll get over it. See you next time.